Hi everyone. This is the first match between Composition A, aka the Confused Dead Guy deck, against Jacob's on the left, blue and green toolbox skies sort of hybrid deck. Jacob starts out with a turn 1 Library of Alexandria. That's always pretty nice. And I have actually a double black mana source at turn 1, but no sinkhole so far. Putting out a scrubland and a Mox Jet. Jacob is within library range now, and he uses it and gets a tropical island into a Birds of Paradise. And I time walk. And then we get a strip mine against the library, and then we ancestral recall. So that's a turn of event. So we can't put down another land now because we strip mined. But we actually have a slight card advantage at this point. So Jacob just puts down a forest and passes the turn. So there's another Library of Alexandria, but I opt not to use it. I Mind Twist instead. Trying my luck, but of course Jacob has a counter spell in hand. So he survived that. And there's a Chaos Orb, so now he can take out the Library of Alexandria. Excellent. And it dies. And again, we had this house ruling for the night that if at any time any of us misses with that Chaos Orb, it's fine. We'll still destroy the card. So we put out a Tusumjin, and he answers with an Ancestral Recall. So he has a lot of cards as well now. There's a Maze of Fifth, a Sylvan Library. So that nullifies the Tusumjin, and I take a point of damage from it. Now I gotta do something with that Sylvan Library. Okay, so we have an answer for that. So at this point we just take turns of getting all the right cards against each other at this point. Countering those cards that would actually win the game as a Spectre. So now we can get in with one of them, at least, unless he draws into another Maze of Ith or some removal of some sort, like a Sonic Blast or a Hurricane. I don't know if he plays with that. We've just put out that Black Lotus in case he time twists or something. Oh, there's a beautiful air elemental. That's also not something you see every day, but it's a valid card. I mean, how often do you get that extra ability from the Sinker Vampire anyway? It's seldom used. So he elects to put the Juicem in, take 5 points of damage instead of losing a card. So he must have something really good in hand here. Something critical. There's an Energy Flux, so there goes my Lotus and my Mox. I use the Lotus to pay for the Mox Jet in my upkeep. Might as well, right? And take a couple of points of damage from the Tusumjins. So we attack with everything. He can't take 10 points of damage now. He has to let the Spectre in, I think. Okay, so he boomerangs one of the Tusumjins. Oh, I don't know what happened there. We're just fooling around at this point. I don't know what happened. But there's another Juicem and an Unreal Dreams. I think I really like his deck, but it's sort of lacks a creature removal here. Should perhaps play with 4 Mazes of Ith. I don't know if he does. That's another boomerang. And I put it down again. Okay. I like the fact that he uses energy. He must be using energy fluxes instead of crumbles, just against power, and it must be really nice against artifact decks. My deck don't use that many artifacts, but I imagine like a deck like robots and stuff like and similar decks must have, or the deck must have all sorts of trouble if he plays with 2 to 3 energy fluxes main deck. Okay, so he recalls his ancestral recall. Takes 3 points of damage. And time walks. Taking another point. It's a bit hard to see how much life he has. So then that D20 he has there, but I hope it can be made out. So he passes the turn and then he mana shots me. I have another Underworld Dreams in hand, but it won't get down now. Okay, so he loses his Sylvan Library to the Spectre and takes 7 points of damage. And another point of damage in his draw step. That's it. Okay, so Composition A wins the first match of the set. Is match number 2. And Jacob is on the play. Okay, I like to mulligan here. Decide to cut my own deck. We didn't bother with cutting each other's decks, obviously. Actually, I do like cutting decks at tournaments. It's not because I don't really trust the opposing player, but I like them to cut my deck as well, because then there's no, if you just draw turn 1 lower 3 times in a row or something like that, there aren't any shred of doubt that it's just by pure chance. So we get a Badlands and a couple of Moxen out into a Surrender Retreat. And he strip mines the Badland, and I strip mine his island. And we go and we tutor. Oh, he might be mana screwed here, I'm not sure. Let me pass the turn. Okay, he drew a Tropical Island. That's probably a pretty important draw at this point. That's Ancestral, I probably tutored for that. More power. Sorring. Is it a Dewsum? No, it's a Spectre. So he unsummons the Spectre. That's awesome. But he really lacks the mana now. It's so unfortunate. There's a library. The Serendip comes in for another swing. And the Spectre is down again. That's a Maze of Ith. Not too shabby. Oh, did I forget to take a point of damage there? Probably too drunk at this point. Not that I don't think it matters that much. I bolt him, taking a point of damage from the Serendip. And then I sinkhole his Maze of Ith, that's 5 damage. Okay. So, that was a pretty quick game. He got royally mana screwed at that in that game. Let's hope that he draws into his mana in this third match of the set. There's something about Jacob's deck, it's really pretty, I think. I really like it. does he keep this hand? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so he's on the play. Starting up the tropical island. Oh, and I have a Library of Alexandria turn 1. At least I know he plays with ice storms. And this is strip mine, excellent. So we draw with that library before he destroys it, and then in order to not discard a card, we just immediately bolt him. It's better than discarding the bolt. Getting a scrubland out into a Pearl and into a Hypnotic Spectrum, and there's his Mace of Ith. He has the toolbox deck has 2 blue mana sources out now. Seduce him, Jin. Can he counter? Nope. That's trouble. I mean, he has real trouble with removing that Jusum Jin because his Sonic Blast won't bite. And but I think this is after sideboard on all these games, so he might have control magics. He boomerangs it. So there's a second chance of him countering it, but I can put it back. No, I'll put something else back. It's a Singer Vampire. Okay. So we know I have a Jusum Jin in hand now. Should probably keep up 2 blue mana in order to block it. Oh, but there's a control magic. Nice. Though I don't think the Singer Vampire will pose as much a threat to him because he can Sonic Blast it. It's the Jins that's the problem. Okay, so we like to source the Plowshare, so he gets 4 life out of it, and my Singer Vampire is removed from play. So control magics are nice. So let's do some Jin. It would be really nice if Jacob had another control magic at this point. So put down a Sol Ring. And I take a point of damage from the Jusum Jin. I also have a factory now. And he mana shots me in my upkeep. And I actually take a point of damage from the City of Brass, and it also puts the factory out of commission here. So we can only attack with 2 creatures. Okay. Let's just Jusum get in for 5 points of damage. So he has something in hand here that he likes to keep. Oh, I showed my hand as an Unreal Dreams and an additional 2 Jusum Jins. So we attack with everything. And he blocks the factory and likes to get this, let the spectre get lost in the maze, and takes a Jusum Jin. And I just put down another Jusum Jin and he mana drains it. That's nice. I attack with that factory because I have more than enough mana to sacrifice it just to let the Jusum Jin get in. And I also have enough creatures to back it up. Okay, so he empties his hand with another chop blocker with the factory and an energy flux. Then he counterattacks with that factory. I'm not sure about that play. It would have been far better, I think, if he had double blocked the Jusum Jin with the 2 factories. Then they can pump each other or itself to become effectively 6/6. So they have to trade a Jusum Jin with a factory then, unless I have some sort of removal spell. Next Jusum Jin out. So now he's gotta draw something good here. That's an island, not what Jacob needs, unfortunately. That's another factory. So this is probably the last attack. Okay, here he goes. That's right. So he double blocks one of the Jusums because you're in the maze, and then trade a factory with the Jusum Jin. And then he uses a bird to protect him from the Spectre. So I put out Underworld Dreams and passes the turn. So each turn there's just another threat on Jacob. I've drawn pretty luckily in this game. Oh yeah, we forgot about that Sol Ring. It just keep being there, just paying for itself. It's a wild growth. I've never seen that in a deck since the last 15 years, I think. It's so cool. I think it's an awful card. Why not play with the mana elves instead? I mean, they can attack and block. And you can actually sinkhole that land, thereby removing the wild growth. But it's so funny he plays with it. It's cool. But after this, I believe Jacob made some tweaks to his deck and made it more nasty. So out with the wild growth and in with more amnesia. So we had a few more games with that before we called it a night, and we were playing out to the wee hours. So they'll be coming up shortly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.